Figuring the unemployment rate. Unemployment. Are you currently employed or currently unemployed? If you said you're currently unemployed, let's see if you are truly unemployed. To be unemployed, you must be at least 16 years of age or older. You must have been out looking for a job within the past 4 weeks. If you haven't been out looking for a job within the past 4 weeks, then you're not unemployed and you haven't found a job. So if you're younger than 16, you're not part of the labor statistics. If you haven't been out looking for a job within the last 4 weeks, then you're not unemployed. We're going to take a look at how you figure out the unemployment rate. First off, you have the civilian labor force. Let's see who's not included in the civilian labor force. First off, institutionalized individuals are not included, such as prisoners, mental health patients, and nursing home patients are not included in the civilian labor force. Military personnel are not included in the civilian labor force. They're part of the military. They're not a part of the civilian labor force. To figure out the unemployment rate, you take the civilian labor force, which is the employed workers, plus all of the unemployed workers, those workers out looking for a job within the last 4 weeks and haven't found one. Add those two together and you get the civilian labor force. To figure the unemployment rate, you take the number of unemployed workers divided by the number of people in the civilian labor force. And don't forget, the civilian labor force is the employed plus the unemployed. Let's say that there are 90 employed and that there are 10 unemployed workers. If you plug these numbers then into the formula above, you would get the number of unemployed is 10. The number of people in the civilian labor force is 100 because it's the employed plus the unemployed, and you'd get an unemployment rate of 10%. But watch what happens to the unemployment rate when we have discouraged workers. They decide to leave the labor force. So what happens is these discouraged workers leave the labor force. Now the number of employed goes from 10 to 5. And so the number of unemployed workers now is 5. And now the number of people in the civilian labor force is the employed plus the unemployed, which is 95. 5 divided by 95 is an unemployment rate of 5.26%. And so you can see how discouraged workers could distort an unemployment rate just by dropping out of the labor force.